I'm Holly.
And I'm Bridget.
And this
is Girls Next Level.
Welcome back to Girls Next Level, everybody. We are here with Miss Stacy Burke.
Woo woo! Huzzah!
Renaissance Fair founders.
How now, young lady?
So we left off, we were in the Mediterranean room and we were starting to work with this dialect coach.
Which, can I just say, her name was Morgan. And I don't know where they found her. I don't know if it was somebody that the Renaissance Fair recommended or whatever, but I thought she was delightful.
Oh, she was. Yeah, I really liked her.
I love her personality. She was so much fun.
Yeah.
I am wearing those glasses again, and it's because I'm having that second eye reaction, an allergic reaction. Remember I said it happened twice?
Do you know what the allergic reaction was from?
Never figured it out, and
That's
it's never happened since. It happened twice. Once when we went to Vegas, and once obviously around this time when we're filming this scene. And that's why I'm wearing those glasses again, because I'm like, why am I wearing those dumb glasses again? Did I just think that they were so cool and fun after wearing them the first time? But then in commentary, I say this was when I knew I had a second reaction. I just didn't know when it was. This was it. So I don't know what I had going on.
It was only then you haven't had it since?
Mm-mm.
And my ass is out in the low-rise jeans I'm wearing. Did you notice in the scene?
Didn't.
And these are a perfect example of what we think of when we say low-rise jeans. Like I know a lot of like mid-rise things are marked low-rise these days, but these were the actual, like I'm sitting down, you can see in the scene, and like half of my ass is hanging out.
Yeah. That's how it was for real.
That's how it was for real.
One of the reasons, and I know I talked about this a little bit in the last episode, but one of the reasons that I really wanted to do this is because it makes it so much better when you go to fair if you know some of the language. Do you agree?
Because everyone there, usually the workers, talk that way. And I've brought people there where they get angry, and like I witnessed actually people just getting mad, like I don't understand what you're saying. Speak English, and but they are the players, the cast members, the people that are supposed to talk that way.
But I think even people that go there talk that way, like the avid fair goers.
It's kind of fun. It's
like
kind
you don't know who's working.
Yeah. But it's like, it kind of makes it more fun, especially. Yeah, you want to play along with it, cosplay, and get into the mood and act like you're back in the day. Yeah. And also you kind of want to understand what they're saying.
Right. And I just felt like I was telling Holly last week, like I've been to the fair without dressing up and without like playing along and stuff. And it's just not nearly as fun.
Yeah, it's not. Although they make fun of you. Like, you wearing your underwear? Go, they call me like, all this stuff. And that'd be funny because it's like sometimes it was just too hot. That's why I have the regular outfit, like the ones you have. And then this was more the belly dance. This was my summer outfit because I would like push it up and stuff like that. So, because it would get hot sometimes.
They will definitely pick on people that aren't dressed and playing the part too. They'll like,
what are you doing with your skivvies? What are you wearing in public with your skivvies?
Yeah. So that's funny. But then you really do feel even more so like a sore thumb and like, I should have dressed up. Or maybe it's just me because I love dressing up.
It's more fun. It kind of, like I used to buy all the swag and, eat all the food and just.
Yes. Oh, we're going to get into all of that stuff.
Yeah.
We're going to get into all of it.
You know what I noticed watching this scene is I can feel the good vibes in this scene. Like, you know how I believe that there's like certain energy imprints on things when they're being made? Like when we were looking through different years of Playboy magazines on our Patreon, I would look at certain years, and if the magazine was put together during 2007 when things were good, it would be a good vibe. Yeah. And then if I'm looking at something where it was put together in like late 2008, 2009, there was such a like sinister vibe I felt. Like I really feel that. And I remember when we were watching in season 2, the dog birthday episode, there was a scene where one of the chefs was showing us how to make the dog pizzas in the kitchen. And I just had this feeling that like Kevin was so into this episode and loved this episode. Like I could feel like the love and enthusiasm pouring out of the episode. And I feel it in this scene too. Like I feel like Kevin is super into this Renaissance Fair idea and probably super into the fact that Hef is into it and participating. And I just like feel the enthusiasm in this scene. It's weird.
Yeah. That's interesting. I definitely felt it in the dog birthday one that you're talking about, but I did not like notice it in this one.
Yeah.
So I think that's interesting. Like makes me kind of want to rewatch it and see.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, like I said, she brings us these books and she's giving us words like verily and forsooth and telling us how to use them and stuff. And then you brought up an interesting thing in commentary. You were like, forsooth, that was your line in Robot Chicken.
Oh, yeah, it was randomly.
Yeah. What I thought was so interesting because we've never even, did we even talk about the robot chicken thing?
I don't think so. When did we record that? Like season 1 of the show or something?
God, I don't even know.
Probably around that time, the show, if you guys are familiar, Robot Chicken, it was like a comedy where they'd have little like action figures, act out scenes and stuff. And ours was like a Lego or like a Duplo people that was like Lego Playboy Mansion with like the people. And we had little figures and we did a voiceover for it. It was very cute.
It was so fun to do that. Like, I love that voiceover stuff.
Yeah, I have a clip of it on our YouTube channel. If you go to the playlist marked clips, it's on there if you guys want to see it.
And then I remember later on down the line, we had like a robot chicken party at the mansion. And it was like, I think for the new season starting, when we were going to be in it and stuff. So that was really fun. But yeah, she's teaching us how to use the word forsooth. And you're like, forsooth, that's my robot chicken line. But yeah, we're totally into it. We're like learning. We're doing all this stuff. And then they do an on the fly. I wrote in my notes, holy shit, because they do an on the fly interview with Morgan, the language coach. And she says they must be asking her how you think the girls are going to do with all this. And how do you think Kendra is going to do with it? Because she says Kendra has enough problems speaking regular English. So I don't know how she's going to do tackling Elizabethan, but I'll keep my fingers crossed for her.
I felt that was crazy for a couple reasons.
It blew my mind.
It blew my mind, one, that they threw her under the bus because you guys know, even though you guys might not agree, I always kind of felt like, especially in the early seasons, the show very much like favored Kendra. So I'm shocked that they threw her under the bus. But also, like, as much as it might feel like, oh, wow, she's finally getting it where we've always got it, it's kind of an odd thing for them to pick because I feel like, okay, they're going to use it as a gag that she's like, and I'm putting this in quotes, guys, being dumb. And then they use that as like where they're going to rip on her. And I'm like, I don't know how I feel about that because it's kind of like a low blow. But like if they had wanted to rip on her for being an asshole or for being rude or for being late all the time, like they won't touch that. They want her to look like a nice person, but then they'll be like, okay, well, like use all your gags being dumb and then kick you in the stomach about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if they were trying to say she was dumb or just like she's not paying attention and she doesn't care and she doesn't like, she's not trying.
Yeah, I think it comes off as being dumb, though. I mean, that's how I would interpret it, just watching.
She used slang, like she used like slang words because, I don't know.
Yeah. But well, I was surprised for a couple of reasons. Number one, I was surprised that somebody who's just meeting her, maybe Morgan was a fan of the show and had seen other seasons, but somebody who's just meeting her comes out and that's one of the first things that how she feels and says. Two, I was surprised that even if she did notice that she would say it on camera. Like there's a lot of balls it takes to do that.
Do you think she came up with it though? Or do you think it was a line that was fed to her?
Ooh.
Because my first instinct was it was a line that was fed to her, which seems like such a turn of events. Like they're just turning on Kendra where they've always favored her so much. But that was my first instinct, was that it was like a line producer. Like, would you say Kendra has like trouble with the English language and then she can't even do the Renaissance English?
Oh, maybe.
That's just what I didn't even think of that. Was my first instinct. And then she, because it's being fed to her, feels like, oh, it's okay to say this.
Yeah.
And Kendra was kind of joking about being beef-witted in the thing.
Yeah.
So she probably felt like it was okay to say that line and that it wasn't like mean of her to say, because she doesn't seem like she's a mean person at all.
No, that's why another reason why it comes out like kind of shocking. And yeah, that's so interesting. I wonder if she was fed it.
That was my first instinct. And it's just, like I said, surprising to me for a couple reasons. A, surprising they threw her under the bus. And then even though part of me is like, oh, well, equal treatment because we've definitely been thrown under the bus before. But I'm like, they really had to throw her under the bus for that, though.
So this makes me think now for a second, they're letting Morgan throw her under the bus, kind of. I wonder if like this was right after that blowout. Like, this really was right after that blowout. And Kevin's like kind of pissed at Kendra and wants her like portray her a little bit.
Yeah, because
something's changing.
Yes, because things have definitely took a turn, because in this episode, she's definitely back participating.
Yes.
So something happened where, you know, maybe it was that passage in her book where she's like, oh, I'm not in the show anymore. What's going to happen? So she's back on. And maybe there's a part of a sentiment from production where it's like, okay, glad to have you back, but maybe we're not going to have your back as much as before.
Yeah, that's what I'm feeling, sort of. And I didn't even like put it all together until we started talking about this right now.
Mm-hmm.
I know I've mentioned it to you guys before, but one of my biggest goals this year is to have healthier, stronger, and longer hair. You all know how much I love big hair. And one of the ways that I'm doing that is with iRestore Elite. It's so comfortable to wear, and I can wear it while I'm doing other things like watching TV, reading a book, doing my Spanish lessons. In fact, I am literally wearing it right now while I record this ad. The iRestore Elite is clinically proven to help regrow hair using 300 lasers and 200 LEDs that send light therapy directly to your scalp, so you can say goodbye to bad hair days.
For a limited time only, our listeners are getting a huge discount on the iRestore Elite when you use code NEXTLEVEL at iRestore.com. That's promo code NEXTLEVEL at iRestore.com to get huge savings on the hair regrowth device you've been wishing for and start feeling like yourself again.
I've only been using the iRestore for a couple of months now, and I swear I'm already seeing results. But just to try and give it a little boost, I also got the iRestore shampoo and conditioner, and I'm going to try out their gummies and the hair growth serum. The iRestore Elite device is the best at-home laser device in the world. It has more lasers, LEDs, and power output than the competition, ensuring you'll see results. It also has more scalp coverage and is surprisingly comfortable. You'll forget you're even wearing it, and I always do. Give yourself the gift of hair confidence this spring. For a limited time only, our listeners get $625 off their iRestore Elite when you use code NEXTLEVEL at iRestore.com. That's $625 off iRestore Elite at iRestore.com with promo code NEXTLEVEL. Please support our show and tell them we sent you. Hair loss is frustrating. You don't have to fight it alone. Thanks to iRestore.
And here's another thing that's a turn for a difference is they actually do me a favor. And I say something like, I gotta go take a swoon. And then they add a laugh track. Like it's the funniest thing anybody's ever heard, which is the opposite of what they usually do to me. Like usually they do that to Kendra. They'll have her say something that's moderately funny and then they'll add a laugh track. Like it's so fucking funny. I could say something that's not supposed to be a joke and they play it off like I tried to joke and bombed.
Yeah.
So it's weird. It's like this episode, it's like they're almost experimenting with like flip-flopping everything.
Interesting.
I wonder if Molly worked on this and has any memories of what was being done or any notes that were given.
It would be interesting to ask her. Yeah. So then Morgan goes on to say if somebody's not very smart, we call them beef-witted. And of course they like focus on Kendra. And then Kendra laughs and says, I'm beef-witted. And then Kendra asks, if somebody's hot? And she says, a bog cock.
A bog cock?
Bog cock, yeah.
Yeah.
Or baugh cock, BAUGHCOCK, a baugh cock. And then that's when she says, a nasty thing to say to a girl is to call them a sausage wallet.
That's my favorite one. It's just so accurate. It's such a visual. And it's weird because like, obviously, I mean, people were people back then, but you don't think of them as being like that explicit minded. Like I just picture people going around with, especially women with like virginal mindsets.
Well, when you spend enough time at the Ren Fair, that's not how they're acting at all. Especially the peasant ladies. The ladies are a little more reserved and maybe save it for the indoors. Regals. But the wenches,
the peasants and they're all dirty.
The more cleavage, the better. Whoa. And there's little flowers that they would present to you that you put in your cleavage to like exaggerate it even more. Like that's a whole thing,
right? Because I was going to ask you guys later in this episode. Like there's a period of time where we all have like flowers stuck right here, and
that's
I was like,
favor.
There's even a vase. I even had
there's a special
necklace with a vase, and they put ice. They go because it'd be hot, and like men would like, ooh, you look very hot. Would you like some ice? And they would pour, they would just basically like a wet t-shirt contest. They would just pour ice in your vase for your flowers.
But it was like a favor from like a suitor or whatever to put flour in there.
Yeah.
You had to remember too, these people did not, I mean, not the people that go to the Ren Fair, but people back in the Elizabethan age did not shower regularly. And flowers and things like that were ways to like stay smelling good and like ward away all the scents.
Yeah.
Also, when I worked at the fair, and I was working like the will call booth and stuff, we had these hats that we had to wear. They were like elastic, kind of like, I don't know, not a hat, but like a, what do you call them? Like a bonnet type thing or whatever.
Yeah.
And they used to wear those back in the day to keep the bugs from flying off onto other people.
Oh.
They had like bugs and crap in their hair.
Oh, the lice. Oh.
Well, you can just imagine, even walking to the Ren Fair as us back, like in today's day, showered and bathed after the Ren Fair, you are covered in dirt.
Yeah.
That's one thing I remember about this day is I had so much fun, but I was in a tight corset and I was feeling a little like
the
hot,
dust,
sweaty, kind of ready to like get into something more comfortable by the end of it.
Dust boogers for days.
Oh, yeah, for days. Yeah.
So then we're in your room. Everybody's changing. I love Stacy's outfit.
And I had just have on my Elizabethan undergarments.
Oh, yeah.
Scandalous. And I'm practicing my language with Winnie. As we noted before, the hardwood floors are in.
Yeah.
Exciting.
Going back and forth.
And I'm teaching you some of my words, and we're getting into our costume. And you had your tail. I forgot about your tail.
I know. I should have brought it. But I'm sitting on it. But yeah, I have, in fact, I have added to the collection of tails. But they're not real fur, not the one. Well, that was before I was vegan, but they make non-fur ones. But
I would assume.
But I love my tail.
Yeah.
I love my tail.
Yeah, and I'm spinning in circles, and I really do make myself so dizzy that I like.
It looks like it, yeah.
And you say, I saw your knickers.
Oh, yeah, your knickers.
Which I just think is funny because it's so part of the time and everything. Then we cut to your room, and you're getting ready.
Tits are out all over the place. There's just a lot of changing in this episode that we haven't seen in a while.
And I was going to say, Holly's sitting at her moldy old vanity.
Oh my gosh, I know.
Jeez.
Sleeping Beauty music is playing.
And when I put my outfit on, you can see the stuffing I'm talking about in like the middle section. I wish I would have taken that out because it just for the show. But I don't know if you guys can see on camera. I probably have to get up and like spin around. But this dress I wear because I didn't want to didn't want to get into my whole Sleeping Beauty corset. But this dress kind of switches from pink to blue if you like turn around. I think you can see it. So it works. It reminds me of Aurora.
Yeah, so they cut to Kendra's room. She's still in bed, asleep. They put in snoring noises. I don't think those were real noises.
Yeah.
And in commentary, this is what I was talking about like a episode or two ago. She's talking about how hungover she was because she literally just got home earlier or in the middle of the night from Vegas from doing a club appearance.
Everything's getting packed in.
And so we go into her room and we're all dancing and screaming and as we barge in and wake her up. And she says in interview, it's the last thing she wants to hear in the morning is tambourines pounding in her ears. And Martini and Rascal are outraged.
Everybody seems to be getting along really well in this episode.
Yeah, I think so. And then, of course, Hef is dressed as the visiting king of France, and he walks down to the dining room to our fanfare.
Okay, it's my favorite thing when he goes up to me and he says, "You're the only one that looks like you came from a Disneyland movie." He goes, "I feel like I'm in Shrek 2.
Yeah.
And it makes me laugh so hard because that outfit looks exactly like something a Shrek 2 character would wear.
Sure.
Like he's so spot on with that.
Yes.
Like he's being funny this episode. It's crazy how like the Renaissance Fair is bringing everybody together. Like Kendra's back participating, Hef's participating more than ever. Everybody seems to be getting along. And I would have never thought the Renaissance Fair, the dusty, hot Renaissance Fair would be the thing.
Like no frills, like really no frills.
I never would have guessed.
Yeah. Did you notice? So then Kendra walks down, but did you notice that David is behind her?
David, the photographer.
Yes.
He's still there because there was David was this photographer who would like meet us out at nightclubs and or even meet us at the house before we went out and take photos of Hef. And sometimes he'd put them out on like, I don't know if it was Wire Image back then or wherever. Sometimes they'd be in the tabloids. But at one point in time, David just disappeared and didn't show up one day, and nobody could track him down. And we're like, did he die?
Yeah, we had no idea what happened to him.
But I'm surprised he's still with us at this point in like 2007. Like, when did he disappear?
Well, I feel like he disappeared for a while and then he came back.
Oh.
So I don't know if he's already disappeared and is back or if he hasn't disappeared yet. I'm not sure where that happened in the timeline.
Very confusing.
Yeah, but his name was just David. We would always say David when he would show up to be funny. So that's why we say David. But I thought that was interesting that David is coming with us and not Elaine.
I feel like Elaine was just piecing out. She wanted to do less and less. Or like when Bryant came on the show and said that he would get called, after school at UCLA to come do stuff because Elaine didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
Like she's just over it.
That's crazy though.
Over it.
Because that's her job though, like was doing the photos.
Yeah. I wonder if she felt like more stuff was being added on because of the show. And she was like, I didn't sign up for this.
Yeah, that's what I
know.
think. That's what I think.
Maybe she didn't want to be on camera or something.
Oh, definitely. She didn't want to be on camera. Yeah. That was probably part of it. She probably felt like this job is turning into something else.
Yeah. So we pose for pictures and then we head out the back gate and the bus is waiting for us and it shows a bunch of B-roll of the Ren Fair. And we get off the bus to crowds of photographers.
And I think one thing you guys should point out too is that there's people at the Renaissance Fair who get to play specific historical roles. Like obviously there's the Queen Elizabeth, there's a Sir Walter Raleigh, there's a Shakespeare.
Yes.
And you guys, can I say when I talk about Shakespeare and it's so bad.
What?
It's so bad. So in my confessional, I go, Shakespeare had a lot of bitches with him. And because he has like multiple girls.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's usually how he walks around or if it was like a gag for meeting us for our show. Like, oh, you have 3 girlfriends. I have 3 girlfriends. I don't even remember how many people he had with him. But I'm clearly, at least clearly to me, in the confessional, trying to say something like contemporary, like what would be the equivalent to like us. But I say bitches, and watching it back, I just cringe so hard because I'm like, if I were a viewer watching this, I would think I'm calling those specific women bitches. And I'm so sorry to the Shakespeare girlies because they were all perfectly nice and that wasn't what I meant by it. And I hate it. I cringe so
but that's
bad.
a Y2K thing. A lot of bitches. Like
I was trying to come up with something like that, and it just wasn't landing. But if I always try and watch this with like some imagining, like I'm a viewer who doesn't know the behind the scenes. I would think, oh, Holly had some beef with those girls, so they must not have been nice.
I didn't take it. Well, maybe just because I know what you were meaning, but I got what you meant by it.
Because they had pimp and hoes. Like that was the party theme for a lot, pimps and hoes.
Oh yeah.
And that was like a good thing kind of.
Sometimes I feel like my hair is my armor. It's that one thing that makes me look great, whether I just rolled out of bed or got a chance to finish my makeup or not. And I dream of one day not having to use hair extensions. I'm really wanting my hair to grow out, be thick, full, all that stuff. And Hers hair treatments can help with that. They're made with doctor-trusted prescription ingredients that many other hair products out there just don't have. They come in a variety of options, including oral and topical solutions, so you can find the one that works for you. They even have options with added hair vitamins and supplements for extra support. Getting started is simple with a quick online hair quiz. We love a quiz around here. Just answer some questions and you will be connected with a provider to discuss your personalized treatment plan. And through Hers, everything's 100% online, which makes life so easy. Also, treatments start at just $35 a month. And the best part is you get thicker, fuller, healthier hair and start seeing regrowth in as little as 3 to 6 months. Start your initial free online visit today at forhers.com/nextlevel. That's forhers.com/nextlevel for your personalized hair loss treatment options. forhers.com/nextlevel. Individual results may vary. Compounded products are not FDA approved or verified for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plans. See website for full details, restrictions, and important safety information.
My note about that interview with you is that I say, I don't know what's different about this interview, but you're giving off major Paris Hilton vibes in that video to me.
Maybe because I call people bitches. Because remember, she used to greet people like, hey, bitches, all the time in that era.
I felt like it was the way you looked, though. I don't feel like it was the line.
I don't remember what I looked like in that. I don't remember. Was my hair straight?
Probably. So anyway, I think this is a good time to kind of talk about our schedule because it is like 2 pages long of what we're doing at the Ren Fair. And I'll post it on our Patreon and stuff, but it says at 1 p.m. we get there and we are going to be greeted at the front gate by the Earl of Southampton, Capitano, and Tristano. And those 3 men will be our guides throughout the day because we weren't really supposed to walk alone, right? They're I mean, we can't, you can, obviously, but
they just want to hang with us. Come on.
They were our chaperones throughout it. And then 1:10, characters arrive at the Guild of St. Ives, Leaping House and Tavern, the Earl of Southampton, and our guides basically, and we meet up with William Shakespeare.
I love how it's down to 1:10. Like it's down to the 10th of a minute.
1:20. And they cut this out of the show, but I wish they didn't. Remember when the Puritans arrived to see us? Oh, like scoffing at us and like,
did they have like a bell they were ringing or something? Like a shame bell?
They might have. Yeah. And it says that a prop was needed, strawberries. And I don't remember what they did with the strawberries.
Oh, no.
Thank you for reminding me. I brought you something. I brought you a present.
Okay.
Ooh la la.
Hopefully they're still okay.
But I do remember the Puritans like just shaming us and like
that's so funny.
And I thought that was funny to leave in the show, but they didn't because the Puritans would walk around the fair, and anybody that was showing too much cleavage or being too like crazy, they would like shame them and be like, like
that's
appalled.
Funny. Yeah,
clutch their pearls.
Yeah.
What?
I'm just surprised Hef wasn't into leaving that in because he was so fascinated with like Puritan culture and how he was like the reaction to Puritan culture.
And then it says at 1:30, discreetly remove the cast and crew behind scenes and drive on a golf cart to gate 11 to meet with the jousters.
Yeah, because it was on the other side.
I love the detail.
The entrance.
Yeah, 1:50, we're at the jousting field, and they talk about all the props that are going to be needed and people that will be there. Like they said, beverages, Diet Pepsi and water, cut fruits and cheeses.
I don't even remember if I had time to get a beer or anything. Did I?
I don't think we got a beer the regular way. We would normally get a beer, but I think they brought us everything.
Okay, good.
And then at 2:00, we're still at the jousting arena. Let's see if anything happens. Film the interaction between King Henry,
which was Hef,
and Queen Elizabeth. And the jousters get our favors. 2:30, we go to the Guild of St. Michael. There's different characters there. And then we feast on shepherd's pie, fruit, cheese, and chicken. And then we have an entertainment of a comedian who comes to sing and interact. And then 2:45, we are walking in a parade. And then at 3:00, there was options. Remain at St. Michael's to relax, go backstage, or be taken via golf cart to the Nobles Glade. And then at 3:40, we're at the Nobles Glade, Queen and Court, and the belly dancing and everything, which we'll talk about in this.
That part.
And then from 4 to 6, but I don't think we stayed that long. I think we leave slightly after. It's like shopping in the marketplace, participating in rides and games. I really wanted to do the swing, so they said possibly the swing. So, yeah, that was our schedule.
And when we arrive, they show a ton of B-roll of the Ren Fair. And there's some interesting things in the B-roll. Like there's these really cool giant puppets that are going around. And did you see the dude who's like painted all black and has like a giant like
we interact with him later.
His nose. Yeah. But the way he's like crouched over, he looks like a weird animal. And they only show him for a split second. And I'm like, what was that?
He's the troll. He's the troll.
Yeah. He's the troll.
Mm-hmm.
In Devore, he had more of a big, like arena, but he's a regular there. And he doesn't
speak, but he'll grab things off of you and he'll like make things with stuff and like give it to you. And like, he's a thing. And then did you see, this always scared me, you guys, and I don't know why, Giant Tree Man.
That's scary. Yeah.
Was he at this one?
Well, they show footage of him. I don't know if
he come to the Summers at some point.
Yes.
Didn't we request him?
I don't know if it was him himself or what, but there was this guy, you guys, and he dressed like a tree. And if he wasn't moving,
tree.
super tall. If he wasn't moving, then like you just thought, well, you didn't think it was a real tree really, but you knew that it was just like a tree prop. And then all of a sudden it would like move and then it would have a face.
Like
and
a sloth.
The tree people freak me out. And there's more than one sometimes.
Yeah.
They freak me out.
And he had a basket on his limb with like if you want to give him money. But yeah, he would not talk, stilts. And like, yeah, it was very freaky.
Yeah, I don't know why, but it really creeps me out, that guy.
Yeah.
And then in an interview, Kendra says back in the Renaissance day, there were swords and horses and no roads. And then her cell phone rings in the interview. And she reaches over and grabs and says, no cell phones.
Was it a flip phone? Because I'm curious.
I think so. I think it was one of those like an Envy that you flip out and then it has the keypad inside.
That's pretty much had.
Oh yeah, one of those. Yeah, not the original flip phone, but the other, the like sidekick type thing, right?
And then she goes, oh, it's TV Johnny. I want another grill. And they cut to TV Johnny. And I like that moment. It's just a very like real moment that like calls back to something we've seen before.
Yeah, same. And then we're escorted to the jousting area and everybody screams, God save the king, which is so crazy because at the Renaissance Fair, it's always God save the queen.
I know.
So
she had to take a second seat because usually she's the star.
Yeah. Yeah, so we got to sit in a special box to watch the jousting, which, I mean, for us, that crazy.
That was really cool. Yeah. I got to put the little on
the favor.
Yeah, the favor on the jousting king.
Yeah.
Oh my God, or the knight. I mean, yeah.
And like I said, when I'd watched this and made the notes, I'd just gone to Tournament of Kings the night before. And I was like, oh, jousting, same thing.
Yeah.
And the people who play the parts really take their roles so seriously at this thing.
And then in an interview, Holly says, I was really excited to see the queen because Bridget is always talking about it and she wishes she could be the queen at the Ren Fair. But she said she's not redhead, so she can't do it. But that wasn't the only reason. Like the person who plays queen is like a serious Elizabethan actress. She's got that lingo down and like, they're amazed. Like those, like you said, those people take it super seriously.
Right.
Like I would never, like I could barely remember how to say hello and goodbye. And
thank you. Like if she's meeting some knight of some shire of this or that, or if they have a beef, like, oh, that last week you did not invite me, to tea. And, like something like it's a whole drama.
Yeah.
Like the Real Housewives of the Renaissance Fair.
What do you think people thought, the people who were attending the Renaissance Fair, when Hef was announced? That must have seemed really random because it's not like people were told in advance he was making an appearance.
Right.
And I imagine a lot of people who go to the Ren Fair go multiple years. It must have seemed so random to have him announced.
I think it'd be hella weird.
Yeah.
I do know that celebrities would go quite often. When I worked the Northern California Fair, it was reported that Robin Williams would come a lot. And he'd be in full costume and everything. I didn't personally see him, but people would say that he was at fair a lot. And they would also say other celebrities too were there.
Would they ever be announced?
I don't know I don't know. I don't know if they did or not. Because I was working, so I wasn't hanging out at the jousting. But
do they still have the Renaissance Fair in the same place?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. But you guys said it changed, right?
Yeah. Once they changed to Arundel's, it's changed.
Well, because it went from like a rustic area, like Devore, which I did not go to. I did. I did
because it's San Bernardino County versus LA County. And remember when we wanted to see the rats, they go, rats are not allowed in LA, but in San Bernardino we could because we liked the Rat Man.
Yeah.
I like because that guy with he used to hang out in the rat area.
Yeah. And so it went to like a park, like a, an actual park. So
it looked exactly like you're back in time. Like it hid all modern world.
Wow,
yeah.
That's cool.
And so this one, it didn't. And then it also changed more. I was worried that it was going to be in this one too, but it's not. Like you can see that there's all these like huts for all the different food and things like that. Like the food court, I don't know if this is how they really used to look back in the Elizabethan days, but like at least it looks period
old school,
of some sort. But they changed that too now, or I mean, not even say now. I don't know what they're doing now, but like even when we would go, like after this, it was food trucks were brought in, and so everything was just like,
and they wouldn't even cover the wheels. Like the wheels were exposed. At least cover the wheels.
Yeah, and it was like not the same food because they were bringing in food trucks, so it's like the hamburger guy and the pizza guy. And
that's
stuff
how
like
strict
that.
they used to be. When I wanted mayonnaise, they go, mayonnaise? What is that? Because it wasn't invented yet. This wench wants some mayonnaise. What's mayonnaise?
Yeah.
You know, and I'm like, oh, never mind. They didn't have mayonnaise.
Yeah.
That's how strict they used to be.
One of my most recent health goals has been to start eating more quality, fresh, whole foods. But I'm super busy and my family's super busy and I'm always bopping from one place to the next. So while a healthy protein bar is great now and then, I don't want to live on that. And you know what makes things so much easier for me to work toward my goal? Hungry Root. Hungry Root is like having your own personal shopper and nutritionist. They take care of your weekly grocery shopping. They can even tailor meals to your tastes, give you suggestions for nutrition preferences and health goals. They make it easy to eat high quality, nutritious food, which is so important to your health. You can go with gluten-free options, dairy-free, high protein, whatever you're looking for.
I've told you guys about some of the recipes that I've made with Hungry Root before and some of the snacks that I get, and I absolutely love their stuff. But one of the things I love the most is how it really tailors to my taste preferences, because I'll be the first to admit that I'm a very picky eater. And with all the time that I save not having to go to the grocery store or meal plan or spending too much time cooking, Nick and I can watch our favorite shows. As you can tell, I love Hungry Root. Take advantage of this exclusive offer for a limited time. Get 40% off your first box, plus get a free item in every box for life. Go to hungryroot.com/nextlevel and use code nextlevel. That's hungryroot.com/nextlevel, code nextlevel to get 40% off your first box and a free item of your choice for life. hungryroot.com/nextlevel, code nextlevel. Yeah, so it really changes. But can we go back to the jousting for a second?
Yeah.
Because those guys are no joke.
Yeah.
And one of them has Playboy bunnies on his armor. Was that because he knew Hef was coming,
Had
or
to
was
be.
he
Had
always
to be.
like that?
Had to be. No way. That it wasn't.
Yeah.
Do you think that wouldn't have been allowed usually?
I don't think it would have been allowed.
No.
Yeah, no way. I don't think they would have allowed that. That's strictly for Hef coming.
Yeah.
And then after that, we are escorted to dinner with the queen, which is also something as peasant wenches.
We dined with the queen.
We never
which is a
got
big
to do.
deal.
Yeah, it was a big deal
It's a
to
big
sit at
deal.
the queen's table.
Did we get to use forks or no? Was this before forks?
I believe this is before forks. I think everything is pretty much hand
Yeah.
food.
Or wooden forks, or else be like a wooden. They because you could buy like wooden forks. But yeah.
In an interview, I just talk about how we've been to the fair so many times, but it's such a different experience to be dining with the queen.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
And then Hef sits next to the queen, and I can tell by what they're getting us to say in Confessional that they're trying to make it me be jealous of Hef sitting next to the queen. I'm so tired. Like, why the fuck would I care?
And I talk about how Hef didn't have to have his regular meal brought to the Ren Fair because they have turkey legs, and he loves turkey legs, so he was totally covered.
Mm-hmm.
And the queen talks about the kitchen preparations for his arrival, and that she's interested in marrying one of Hef's brothers.
Oh.
And they totally show you looking jealous and stuff, and you're like, wrong hair color. And in an interview, I say, I don't think Holly was jealous of the queen, but she is hoping to make it there someday. And I was like, wait, that doesn't even make sense, really. But I think what I'm trying to say is that you're the queen someday.
The
Or something.
queen of the castle, the Playboy Mansion. Yeah.
But I was like, what does it even mean? What am I saying?
I get it.
And then you say, I like your pimp cup.
Yeah, she has a chalice, which in the Girls Next Door universe is a pimp cup.
Yes. And she says, my what?
And then it kind of turns into a little thing. I'm talking about it. You're talking about it, Stacy. And then Kendra screams out, sausage wallet, out of nowhere.
Before Kendra says that, though, can we just go to Stacy's off-the-cuff definition?
What?
Is spot on. Like, I don't even know how you came up with that, like, in the moment. Because she goes, the queen says, my what? Like, all offended about the cup or whatever. And Stacy says, it's for one that has many suitors. They get a cup that is very grand.
Oh, that's wonderful.
I must have had a beer. I usually do my
the queen is suddenly flattered now, and she says, oh, well, I do have many suitors and a grand cup. And everybody around her is like, yes, ma'am, you do. Like, you know, lady, yes. And then, yes, now Kendra
screams out sausage wallet out of the blue.
Yeah, and everybody gets super uncomfortable.
Yeah, I just set it up so high on the bar and what?
And there's like a
scratch.
look on my face, and then an interview, like I'm like, and everything. It's like the record scratches, but I don't think they put it in there. And I totally smacked Kendra under the table. I'm like, you can't do that. But I mean, as just somebody who like goes to the fair, and I'm not even one that takes it super seriously. Like I was like, oh shit. Like I don't even know how she's gonna respond to that because like you can't do that.
Yeah.
But I mean, it turns out, and I think people think it's really funny and stuff, but it's just like a fair goer. We're like, holy shit.
Yeah.
And then they show a graph of a Kendra head being chopped off. And then the queen wraps up the dinner. And then we go to the swing. And I love the swing.
The swing was totally fun. And you would know because you have the schedule. But I remember this didn't feel like a long day. It felt like kind of just right. Like we were there. We did a lot of things. I was very like hot and kind of sweaty and dusty and wanting to change by the end of it. But I feel like it's a long day for Hef, and he was doing pretty good.
He was doing good.
He loved it.
I think they did a lot of things to like help out in the day too, like making sure that everything he needed, like his Pepsis and his waters and food that he needed, and having a golf cart that could get us around backstage.
Yeah, that's a lot of walking.
Because it's so much walking when you're really doing it. And making sure we had shade and we're, that kind of stuff. Like that helps so much because one thing about the Renaissance Fair, it is the hottest day of your life.
And he was in all velvet. And so, he was probably hot.
Yeah. And in interview, you'd say that the swing looks kind of wimpy until you get on it.
Yeah.
It's not so wimpy. Like, it feels a little...
Yeah, I was like, whoa.
Yeah. It's a lot scarier than it looks.
And then we watched the belly dancers. And I remember the belly dancers wanted us to get up and dance. And Stacy, you were brave enough to do it.
Yeah, well, because I used to take belly dancing. So I love the belly dancing.
I got up and joined.
Yeah.
And then one thing I really wanted for you guys to try, though, is like, yes, it was amazing having like this feast with the queen and everything. But what I really wanted is for them to try like the normal foods that we would eat all the time, which at the fair is pierogies.
Yeah,
pierogies, I like that. Good. And then do you remember too the roasted garlic with the bread?
Oh yeah, that was so good.
That sounds really good.
It's so
what
good.
The hell?
It's just a big thing of garlic, and all they do is just roast it. And it's just buttery, and you get the bread and you just dip it in it.
Oh,
yeah, you just like take it and spread it on, like they give you this like big, like kind of chunk of bread.
That sounds so good.
It's so good. They didn't bring that to us, but they did bring us the pierogies. In interview, I say there were a few times when I looked around at the Ren Fair and everyone was having a really good time. Holly seemed to be really enjoying herself. And I was like, yes, I've turned them on to something new and I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we used to always go all the time.
Because I remember looking around, like I was so worried, like if Hef hates it or if you hate it or whatever.
Yeah.
So like seeing everybody enjoying it and having a good time. Yeah, some people hate it.
Yeah.
So then we board our party bus back to the house. We go back to our buffet all dusty.
Did you see our escorts though? Like they were like so sad that we were leaving and we were leaving the bus and they like were running after.
Oh, that's so funny.
They're so cute. Like they played the part up to the very end. Yeah. And then we go back to the mansion. One of the fun things I always thought was coming back to the mansion in our outfits.
Oh, no, I love it.
Yeah.
Like, where have you been? Like, like I like to show off that I've been somewhere. It was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love the buffet scenes. I always feel like the buffet scenes on this show feel the most fly on the wall and the most real to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I loved how Hef was telling Keith that, today was that Ren Fair day. And he was like, oh, yeah, how was it? And Hef tells him it was fun. So, like, I feel like that's really telling, too, because Hef could have said, well, I'm glad to be home or, something like that. But instead, he said it was fun.
Oh,
like,
good.
he enjoyed
in a really good mood. And I like how it comes full circle with you telling Keith, oh, the queen is interested.
Yes.
And, this seems like kind of an empty Saturday night buffet. Was this on a Saturday?
Most likely, yes. Saturday, May 12th.
Because it kind of seems like nobody's there for a Saturday.
Well, a lot of times Saturdays were
They were the slowest of the three, for sure.
Yeah.
But even so, I'm like, damn, not a lot of people there. And you know what it reminded me of? And this wasn't the day, because Mary's birthday was in August, which I had to look it up to be sure. I knew it was in the summer, but she has the same birthday as my ex-husband.
Oh.
And my grandmother. My grandmother was August 1st, yeah.
No, August 8th was her birthday.
I thought it was August 1st.
No. But every year, Captain Bob would throw a birthday party for Mary at I forget if it was the Elks Lodge or where it was in the valley. And everybody from the mansion's social list would go. But Hef still stubbornly every year would have his Saturday, because they'd always throw the party on Saturday, no matter what day it fell on. And Hef would still have his movie and buffet, but everybody would go to Mary's birthday party. They would choose that over Hef's thing, which just shows how much people loved Mary.
Yeah.
But it was funny because you could always tell who was on the outs with Mary by who still showed up to the Saturday night. And it was always Bill Shepard and Chuck and Betty McCann. Those are the only 3 people that would show up.
Wow.
That's so
And
funny.
it was like so awkward because everybody knew without saying anything why they were there, why nobody else was there. And I remember one year Captain Bob took me aside and he was pissed and he's like, I can't believe Hef won't take one day off for Mary's birthday. Like Mary does so much for Hef and he can't take one day off. He can't not do his movie night one day
I know.
out of the year.
It's true.
Like he was pissed.
Yeah, but it's true.
And it just created this every year, the whole 7 years I was there, it just created this weird, awkward situation. Like you'd think Hef out of ego would kind of back down and be like, okay, maybe I'll go to Mary's thing instead.
Yeah.
Because only 3 people would show up and it was the same people every year and nobody said anything, but we all knew it's because like, oh, Mary doesn't like you or you pissed Mary off or something.
Yeah.
And it makes me wonder, what did they do?
I know.
Like, what caused the Bill Shepard, Mary O'Connor beef?
Now that I don't know. But poor Chuck McCann, like, he got a lot of hate.
He got so much hate.
A lot of people got annoyed.
He was
by
a
him. I'm
polarizing
like, why?
Oh,
character.
Yeah, I always loved Chuck McCann, and he helped me out so much with voiceover, and I feel like he was always like a really good guy to me, but definitely was
He
polarizing.
does have a big personality.
And he definitely is a scene stealer. Like he would walk in the room and he wanted the attention on him. He would make sure of it.
And he had a little voice. Like, oh.
So, best and worst. Do you have a best and worst for this
Oh,
episode?
you know what? I didn't do them.
I'll do mine and then you can chime in. Think about yours.
Okay.
So my worst is when I say Shakespeare had a bunch of bitches. Like, I just want to die. I'm so embarrassed. I hate it if anybody saw that and took offense. That's my worst. That's what I could change if I could wave a magic wand. Best is I love my Sleeping Beauty outfit, but really the camaraderie of this episode was so fun and almost unreal that the Renaissance Fair of all things gets everyone enthusiastic to the point where Hef is super into something that's out of his comfort zone. Kendra, after almost a full season of not wanting to participate, is back with bells on. I can feel the love from Kevin coming from this episode. I just feel like everyone was so into this. And I just love that it's a return to like the good season 3 episodes after having 2 kind of lame ones that we just covered.
Yeah. I mean, I think my worst, I don't know that I have a worst. Like, I really like this episode. I don't think I have anything bad to nitpick on it. I love that it's not only, I feel like this very easily could have been just like a cold open and that's it.
We went to the Renaissance Fair. Ding.
Yeah. And just showed like some B-roll of us like doing some things really quick. So I was so happy that it became like a full episode. I guess if I had to pick one thing that was negative, it goes back to the beginning when I was saying not getting credit for it. But not, and again, I just want to reiterate, I don't mean that not credit from the girls and throughout the episode, there's constant credit about it. But I just mean like being a little bit more of on the producing side of it to make sure that it became a full episode, or doing my part to make sure it became a full episode rather than just like a cold open that it could have been. My favorite thing is everything. I love that that we got to see it and experience it. It's something that's been a part of my life for so long. And I was like, we have to have Stacy on because I just have so many questions for you too. I mean, we could talk about it maybe in the slumber party as well because I think we've been talking for a long time. But I would love to know like why you like the Renaissance Fair and when you started going and what your favorite things to do were. And like I have memories when I was a kid, like going.
Yeah, because your aunt used to work there. Yeah. We would go visit your aunt and your uncle. The uncle who would do the silver.
He wasn't my uncle, but I used to work for him on one of the booths. But even like when I was younger in Northern California, when I did fair and stuff, like they used to have hair braiding areas. I used to love.
That was Devore. Yeah, they had it. Yeah, it was awesome.
And then the the flower crowns, like you could go and do like crown making workshops where they teach you how to do it. Or you could just go and they had all the flowers and all the ribbon and stuff. Like the booth was so beautiful. And you could go pick out like what you wanted and they would make the crown for you. Like there's just so many neat
There's just so much. Like I would have season passes. So I would go like every weekend. Because there's so much to do. In Devore, it had so much. So
when I worked will call, so many people had season passes. And not only that, but in the Northern California one, I don't know if it was true for Southern California, but you could also do camping passes. Oh, yeah.
I went to the after parties.
And they all camped and had parties. Like so the fair did not end. Like it was like they lived.
But you can't say Hazar because that's their work. If you say Hazar, I got reprimanded.
Huzzah.
Well, yeah. I would say Hazar. But they looked at me like, no, we're not working. We don't say that. I'm like, oh my God.
It's funny.
But there are some, I don't know if you want to bring this up on the episode, but Hef got sick on the swing and left early. You remember that?
Well, I know that he
got, because I got a little whoa.
I know Kendra was saying she was a little sick. Hef said he got a little sick.
He took a ride home, and that's why the end of it was just us. He left early. He left before us.
I don't remember that. It might have been so par for the course for me.
I didn't know if you didn't want to mention that, but he got sick.
I don't remember.
He got
going home
sick on the swing, and he wasn't feeling well. And they took a sidecar, and we stayed. And that's why if you look at the episode again, you don't see him after the swing.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Unless they peppered him.
Huh.
But yeah,
I do not remember that at all.
He left, and that was another thing I remembered. I'm like, oh wow, he allowed us to stay. He left and he let us stay. Did Kendra stay with us? Oh, I don't know. She left with him, or because even remember when we even sat in the place, we're sitting down, and then I guess it was like the bordello, and you even said, "Are we sitting in the bordello?" They go, "Yes." You're like, "Oh no!" You were like so embarrassed. I remember you walking out on that one, and it was just us. If you think about it, just us. I don't barely even remember Kendra in the belly dancing scene.
Well, I know she was there because she commented about it. Yeah.
Okay, so then he just
we were
left.
all
Then
there
he just
still
left.
for belly dancing, right? Even Hef.
Yeah, I think so.
He did leave. He got sick. He got motion sickness on the swing.
God, why do I have zero memory of that?
I don't remember that either, but I think if he did leave, we must have left not long after, right?
Yeah, we still did a lot though because we did the belly dancing and I just remember being like, whoa. Usually when he's sick and leave, we all go. But he left.
But we did have a show to film. So.
Yeah. so that I don't know if you wanted to mention that, but
I just didn't remember it.
I didn't remember it either. I totally would talk about it. I just didn't remember.
Yeah.
So we'll see you guys next week. We'll be talking about the season 3 finale, PMO Why Not? Or no, it's called Guess Who's Coming to Luncheon.
Yes.
That's what it's called.
Yes.
Because we have a few surprise guests. So if you'd like more content, check out our Patreon. We're doing a whole other podcast called Slumber Party. We'll have Stacy on that one too. It's patreon.com/girlsnextlevel. And check out our merch at girlsnextlevel.shop. And we'll see you guys next week.
Bye, guys. Huzzah!
Bye.